Welcome. Scott here. I will be covering on the upcoming event, which is our second Shinryu Level 6 Warrior Quest, Area 2 in Global. Firstly, let me give you a quick overview on the 6 Warriors Quest. You can bring a party of 6 members for the quest. Each member can be equipped with their own call. For every turn, you can do a member swap. To swap a member, you need to click on the swap button. You can only bring one summon and allow use one burst. No friend support will be allowed. Abilities that revive the party will affect both parties. The boss HP bar will have thresholds indicators. If you see the target icon is flashing with a red border, it means that the boss is going to do a HP attack. For those who have a full built-up roster, this is an event that you will enjoy a lot, and the fun bringing a bigger party and have everyone utilize their strengths. Put a team of various utilities, and this will help you in this even and future 6 warrior fights as well. Unlike Dimensions and Transcendence or Entropy, there will be no character lock. So, you don't need to worry about locking out the character for future 6 warrior quests. Let's proceed with the boss guide proper. The event synergy units are Celes, Thancred, Eiko, Zidane, Kadaj and Wakka. Celes FR and Burst will be making their debut. Celes, Thancred and Zidane will be getting their reworks. All event characters will be getting their force enhancements. We will be fighting 2 bosses, the Rampage Machine and Optimus, which have 130 million HP each. They don't have any major resistances. The turn requirement is 80. The HP requirements is 8000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in global. Like most other Shinryu fights, the boss gains increased brave damage and gain resistances at start of the fight and 49% HP threshold. Bringing a support like Lunafreya, Charlotta, Aerith, Ramza, Selpha that grants damage boosting aura will make your fight easier. As the boss gains substantial boost to their defenses with the auras, it is important to inflict debuffs that lower their defenses. For this month, 5 of the events will feature a form of elemental lockout. For this fight, all brave damage except from non-elemental and ice attacks will be resisted with 90% brave damage resistance. You can still bypass this with brave cap damage or rainbow, ignore defense, gravity, brave gains mechanics like Charlotta and snow. To enhance your damage, it is highly recommended to bring ice enchanter units like Celes, Lunafreya, Karasame, Onion Knight, or Snow. The fight features lot of threshold attacks, and the boss will start off the fight with their force ability attack. So bringing counter units like Orin, Gladiolus, Glove, and Core will help to mitigate those attacks. Units with starting brave damage reduction buffs like Hope and Selpha that reduce brave damage are very valuable here. Break immunity or max brave floor like Ursula and her father Yang works well here as well. Units that offers multiple debuffs like Kefka, Ferris, or Sarah at the start of the fight can also help to reduce the damage potencies from these attacks. The fight features a lot of HP attacks. AoE damage mitigators like Bash will make the battle stress-free. As the HP requirements is only 8000, burst healers like Aerith, Purim, Eiko, and Maria are useful here. You can also choose to stun lock the bosses with units like Kefka, Aldnark, or Arsila. The Optimus will switch modes between brave damage and brave gain mode. To reduce their brave gains, you can make use of brave control utility like preventing brave gains or freeze their brave with freeze type debuffs. Units like Arsila, Setzer, Kader, Wakka and Yuffie can be used for these purposes. Alternatively, you can drain their brave gains with poison and sap mechanics like Thancred, Sarah or Kadaj. You can also make use of trap debuff mechanics like Celes, Minwoo, Ace, Sice etc. The Rampage Machine or the Chicken Machine will go into standby mode to use the dangerous Matra Magic ++ when its HP is within a certain range. You can deny their turns with turn deletion utility from Minwoo, Amidalion, Cross, or Zidane. You can also delay its turn with delay utility like Sync, Cypher, Quistis, Cloud, Sabin, Seymour, Cloud of Darkness and Camlanod. Overall, as long as you have means to counter the boss mechanics, this shouldn't be too tough a fight to handle. As we are no longer have Lufania Plus fights, the boss guide will be focused primarily on Shinryu fights. In Shinryu, you need to understand the effects gained by the boss as the force gauge build up, its force ability and its force time effect. If your party has low force levels, it is highly certain that the boss force gauge will build up faster than yours. To have a better understanding on the basics of the force gauge mechanics and Shinryu fights, I have done a video explaining the mechanics. I have included the link to the video under the comments and video description for your quick reference. Unlike most Shinryu fights, for this fight, the boss force gauge doesn't have any thresholds and instead will feature a permanent effect. Throughout the fight, the boss will have a 90% brave damage resistance against all elements except for ice and non-elemental attacks. The boss force gauge will build up faster as its HP is lowered. You can refer to the table on the screen for the percentages. Other than standard filling of the force gauge, the gauge will also instant fill depending on the Rampage machine's current HP. It will instant fill to max at the start of the fight, and when the Rampage machine reaches the 59% and 29% HP threshold. At the 100% threshold, the Optimus will use its force ability, Full Salvo Plus Plus, and activates its force time for 5 turns. The boss force ability, Full Salvo Plus Plus, will result the Optimus boss to recover from break, deal an AoE Brave followed by an AoE Brave plus guaranteed hit HP attack. All the Brave hits ignore Brave damage reduction effects. To survive this attack, it is highly advisable to keep boss Brave low with Brave negation debuff like freeze, or lower their Brave gains with poison or sap debuffs. Celes BT Aura will make this a non-issue, as it will convert all Brave attacks from the boss into magic, where she can absorb the Brave hits with her magic Brave absorption gimmick. Upon using the force ability, the boss will enter into its force time, where the gauge will start to emit a red hue with a counter of 5 on its gauge. When the force time is activated, both bosses will gain an instant turn after your party act. In other words, after your action, both bosses will warp their turns forward once your character ends their turn. To freeze the enemy's force time effects, you need to use an ice magic force ability that inflicts a debuff, which is Celes FR. You can also use Hope and Terra FR, but they need to be enchanted with ice. Upon dealing the boss force weakness, you will disable the Optimus's player party attack and initial Brave lowered aura. If the Optimus boss is killed when you activate the boss force time, there won't be any force ability attack, and the Rampage machine boss will just enter into their force time. Now let's go through the fight key mechanics. First of all, let's start off with the mechanics from the Optimus boss. At the start of the fight, the Optimus will apply an aura field effect called Player Party Attack, Initial Brave Lowered. This will reduce both your party attack and initial Brave by 400%. You can disable this by dealing its force weakness. The Optimus will switch modes depending on the HP thresholds. It will start off at Brave Damage mode and switches to Brave Gain mode when its HP drop to another HP threshold. The threshold triggers for Brave Damage mode are start of the fight, 59% and 19% HP threshold. The threshold triggers for Brave Gain mode are the 79% and 39% HP threshold. While in Brave Damage mode, it will raise its Brave Damage potencies by 200%. It will disable the effects from the Brave Gain mode. While in Brave Gain mode, it will raise its Brave Gain by 100%. It will disable the effects from the Brave Damage mode. As mentioned earlier, the boss will trigger thresholds HP attacks with Full Salvo Plus. The HP threshold triggers are 79%, 59%, 39%, and 19%. In other words, the boss will use Full Salvo Plus before switching modes. Full Salvo Plus is a Brave gain, followed by a guaranteed hit AoE Brave plus HP attack. It won't trigger while in summon or burst phase, but the triggers will occur back to back once you have exit out of the burst phase. It is best to nullify the Brave gains or prepare damage mitigation for these threshold attacks. Other than the thresholds attack, the boss has some basic attacks like knocking, all Gatlings and flamethrower. Knocking is a 100% initial Brave gain, followed by a single target Brave melee attack. All Gatlings is 100% initial Brave gain, followed by AoE Brave plus HP ranged attack. Flamethrower is 100% initial Brave gain followed by an AoE Brave attack. The attack also grants the boss the following buffs: 30% attack up and 50% critical rate up buff. It is in your best interests to block the boss buff slots with debuffs or dispel it to minimize the boss damage potencies. Now let's talk about the other boss, the Chicken Machine or the Rampage Machine. As mentioned earlier, depending the boss HP threshold, it will autofill the force gauge to max at the following HP thresholds: start of the fight, 59% and 29% HP threshold. It will allow its buddy Optimus to use the Full Salvo plus force ability. The boss will start to emit a dull red aura at certain HP range. You will see its targeting icon switch to target all with a blinking red border. The game will prompt you with a warning message: reduce Rampage Machine's HP before it acts. The HP threshold when the dull red aura is active is when the Rampage Machine's HP is between 79% to 60% and 39% to 20%. Do not let it have a turn or it will use Matra Magic plus on its following turn that will end your run. You can deny its attacks with the standard turn deletion or delay utility. You can also stall it with a turn disable debuff like Confusion, Paralysis, or HP Silence. As mentioned earlier, the boss will trigger thresholds HP attacks with Matra Magic plus. The HP threshold triggers are 79%, 59%, 39%, and 19%. In other words, the boss will use Matra Magic plus before switch modes. Matra Magic plus is Brave gain, followed by a guaranteed hit AoE Brave plus HP attack. It won't trigger while in summon or burst phase, but the triggers will occur back to back once you have exit out of the burst phase. It is best to nullify the Brave gains or prepare damage mitigation for these threshold attacks. Like the Optimus boss, the Rampage Machine also has other basic attacks like Offensive Machine Gun and Matra Magic. Offensive Machine is a 100% initial Brave gain, followed by a single Brave attack. It will grants 30% attack up buff to the boss for 2 turns. Matra Magic is 100% initial Brave gain, followed by an AoE Brave plus HP attack. It will also grants 30% attack up buff. We have come to the last part of the guide. Recommended FR unit for handling the boss force weakness is Celes. You can also fulfill by using Terra and Hope FR with Ice Enchant. To speed up your force gauge filling, you can bring force charges like Pernello, Selfa, Aerith, Charlotta, Hope and Lunafreya. Hope is one of the best FR charger units. I will highly recommend to get him if you don't have any FR level force charger. Avoid bring other elemental units other than ice or non-elemental. They are still usable but you will need to plan workaround to use them. Due to the Brave resistances and constant HP thresholds trigger, it is advisable to bring damage mitigation and Brave control utility to minimize the HP damage received. Do keep in mind that the HP requirements is only 8000. Before I end the guide, let's cover a bit on the featured FR unit. Celes is known as a Shinryu solo queen. Her FR mechanics is geared to herself. Let's briefly go through her force condition. 1. Use an ice ability will grant 5% HP damage bonus for other units and 25% for Celes. Off-turn damage will also add to the count. Her Magitech Ice Block will help to uptick by 25% upon trigger. 2. Attack an enemy targeting self will grants another 20% HP damage bonus. As Celes will constantly force the enemy to target her with her lock debuff, you won't have any problem in meeting this condition. 3. Absorb brave damage taken will grants another 20% HP damage bonus. When the boss attacks Celes, you will gain 20% HP damage bonus per boss turns. However, Celes will only absorb magic attack. You can convert boss brave to magic with her BT aura. With the above condition, you can see why she is such a potent solo unit. Potentially, you can gain 45% HP damage bonus per boss turn or 45% per Celes turn. If you don't want to invest in her burst, she works pretty well in counter setups with counter units like Core and Gladio as her companions. She is an ideal damage mitigator to handle magic bosses. She can solo the current Benevel's Shinryu if you have her fully geared. With this, I have come to the end of my boss guide presentation. Hopefully you find it useful. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to my channel for future gaming content. Good luck for the fight in the coming days. Bye.